like when I first started.
We might not have a good answer, but we'll make something up. Or I will. These ladies have good answers. I just sort of like there's anything that I say, I feel like I need to put a disclaimer in front of, like, warning, I don't know what I'm talking about. This is just my experience.
Well, I mean, I don't think any of us are actually trained in therapy, so that is a disclaimer.
True.
It's like we're taking part in therapy ourselves. We're not, licensed practitioners.
Yeah. All right.
Sure. Do you want me to read what's on the screen or? Okay. Dialectical behavioral therapy teaches many distress tolerance skills that help people learn how to sit with potentially distressing emotions or thoughts without engaging in self destructive behaviors like self harm, substance abuse, and etc. Or it also helps you stop increasing unnecessary suffering.
It's helped me a lot too, I think, to sort of talk about it more than what I was doing in the group. And like a couple of y'all have left or you are about to leave. And so, like the actual group that we're in. And so I'm glad that we have like a whole extra hour every week or however long just to chat. What? That's so strange.
Oh, sure. It says, wise mind is a state of mind in the middle of both logical and emotional mind. In wise mind, we are aware of our feelings and we decide how to act in a way to honor our feelings and goals. In wise mind, if we are angered, we would acknowledge our feelings and act in a way that would not create negative consequences for ourselves. So, with wise mind, it says that it's intuitive thinking, that it's living mindfully, that it's a balance between rational and emotional mind. And that's truly what it is.
Like those old commercials. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? I guess if you can't hear her, you couldn't hear us. Can you hear her? So weird. I can hear you fine. Obviously. It's okay. This is like a good example of radical acceptance. It's fine. It's what's going on right now. And it's kind of humorous to me, but I find humor in everything.
Is it working?
I was muted.
I think it's working now. Is it working now? Can you hear me? Should be good now because I am getting feedback on my mixer. Okay, so rational mind is Sheldon Cooper from The Big Bang Theory. He thinks rationally all the time. He has no emotion to his thinking. I'm trying to think of another example of a person that you
Spock.
all. Spock.
Spock.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's Spock.
Spock from Star Trek. He is a very rational minded person. Emotional mind would be somebody like me that just,
Harley Quinn.
yeah, that doesn't think rationally all the time and may say or do things without thinking. So, wise mind is putting those together to where you are thinking rationally and you are using emotions and you're thinking before doing something. Is how I.
What
Do
is the
that.
phrase? You're walking the middle path.
Yes, walking the middle path. Exactly. So, this is one of the first skills that we taught, which is the stop skill. So, when you think of the stop skill, you think of a stop sign because you are stopping. You're not reacting, you're not moving. So, before you do something irrational, just say stop. So, stop, take a step back from the situation, take a break, take a deep breath. Don't let your feelings make you act impulsively. You observe what's going on inside and outside of you. What is the situation? What are your thoughts and feelings? What are others saying and doing? And the P is proceed mindfully. So after you've done those other steps, then you can proceed and think about what you're doing. So this is good, like, if you get in an argument with somebody, you just take a moment, think about it, take a breath. Always try to breathe to the count of 10, and then you proceed, and it helps. Okay.
I also use the stop skill whenever I get overwhelmed about something. Like there's some sort of an activity that's, I'm participating in, and then I feel like I'm start going towards a panic attack. That's also whenever I use the stop skill.
Yeah. I was like, oh my gosh, my mic's not working. I'm going to panic. And I start thinking about everything that's going to go wrong because my mic's not working. But I was able to chill out and take care of it.
You can do it like a boss.
Thank you. Hooter, you want to read the what skills?
Oh yeah, sure. The what skills involve observing, describing, and then participating.
Yeah, I should add more to that.
Trying to think, because in like a lot of times when I do the what skill, I'm using a lot of the other skills, not just the what skill. Especially like with the what skill, you have to when you're observing, you try to check the facts to do that. I guess a lot of times, like if you're in the middle of a panic attack, you can observe what's going on, describe the feelings that you're having to yourself. It's like, I almost got in a car accident and I almost had a panic attack. So you're going, well, that was a very scary moment. Yes, I have my heart's racing, my pulse is up, and I'm having trouble breathing. So then you want to try and focus on bringing your breath back and everything, and participate in the moment, because if you dissociate from the moment or if you try to pull yourself away from those emotions, they're still going to be there when you finally come back. So I guess those are all the parts of the what skills.
Yeah, so the five senses skill, is that a what skill?
I think it is. Like I know they don't always like talk about it when you describe the what skill, but I mean, the five senses are pretty much observing. You're using, all of your senses to kind of ground you and think about the things that are actually in the world, as opposed to what's in your brain, which isn't something that's real. It's just what you're thinking.
Yeah,
That's helped me a lot when I've been like freaking out or crying uncontrollably, like to just force myself to look around and see and name or describe things in my environment, like even if it's just for a minute, like just taking that pause and sort of distracting my brain with that. It's grounding in a way.
Oh yeah. And I had somebody, it's a good thing to help somebody that's having a panic attack. So if you know somebody that's having a panic attack, you can walk them through it. You just say, look for something. What's something that you can see? What's something that you can smell? What's something that you can feel? Uh, what's something that you can, what are they? There's
Taste.
Taste. What's something that you can taste?
Smell.
Like giving somebody like a piece of peppermint's really good in the middle of a panic attack, because they can have that to taste it. And I know like there's something soothing about peppermint for a lot of people, and then you can also smell it and feel the way it is in your mouth and stuff. I guess the mindfulness eating is a really big part of doing something like that.
That's a good idea.
Okay, Maria.
Okay. I've got check the facts, right?
Oh, yeah. Did you want to read the opposite action before that?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I didn't even notice you changed your screen. Okay, so it says changing ineffective emotions by acting opposite to the emotion. So if you have fear, the action that you want to take is, the flight, fight, or freeze. But instead, you would approach whatever it was that was causing you the fear. If it was anger, then, maybe yelling, attacking, hitting. And then the opposite action would be to gently avoid and do something nice. That's a really hard one. Sadness, the urge is to withdraw, isolate, and cry. But what you would do is get to participating in something, get active. Guilt or shame, which is a big one for me. You want to hide from it or avoid what's making you feel that, which I do that by sleeping. And so the opposite action is face what it is that you are feeling shame about and repair any mistakes or anything like that that you might have done that made you feel the guilt and shame. Mine usually comes from nothing. I just feel guilty or something like that whenever I just go throughout the day and I have no real reason for it. So that's where I use check the facts about it.
Yeah, I feel like guilt's always one of the ones that's really hard to combat. Like there's some things that you can't do an opposite action for it. Like I feel guilt all the time that I didn't spend more time with my father before he passed. And you can do stuff like spending time with the loved ones you have now, but it doesn't erase the guilt you feel. It's just
Right.
at times like that, you have to radical acceptance and other things that help you get past that emotion.
Yeah, and opposite action is something that I use every day. Like today, I had a lot of stuff that I needed to do, and I've not been sleeping. I just wanted to go back to sleep this morning, and I was a big girl and got in the shower and got dressed and went and did the things that I needed to get done today. That is opposite action. A lot of us use opposite action and don't even think about it.
I mean, even if you have to do something to motivate yourself with the opposite action. If I go to my therapy session, I'm going to go eat at the McDonald's afterwards because I deserve a Frosty. Or, something like, okay, I'm going to get out of bed and shower. I'm going to give myself a sticker because I did that. And,
Yeah.
You don't want to do it, but you're going to do it because you need to.
Absolutely. Yeah, there was a lot of opposite action being used today. I threw a fit. I had just bought a big tub of gum, like the Icebreakers Cubes gum, and I dropped it and it went everywhere. And I was so upset because I was like, I don't ever go to the store. I'm never going to be able to get this gum again for a while. And it helps me with my anxiety. And so I was about to have a meltdown. But, opposite action. I tried not to. So, tip skills. Tip is a way to change your body's chemistry. I use this a lot. I don't use the full thing, and I need to start using the full thing. But basically, if you've ever seen an old movie, if somebody's throwing a fit or they're mad, somebody will come and they'll put a drink in their face. And then they just
when a
calm
woman's
down.
hysterical,
Yeah.
it's kind of like when they slap them. I mean, it's kind of similar, but using the tip skills a lot more gentle than slapping someone.
Yeah,
Or
it's
if
like,
someone
you need to
slaps
cool
that
off.
rope.
You need to take a cold shower. Well, this is that. This is putting water on your face to help bring it, slows your breathing, slows your heart rate. You're actually not supposed to do it if you have any medical problems. So you can have a bowl of water, or I use an ice pack, and you put your whole face in the bowl of water and you hold your breath for 30 seconds. And this makes the dive response happen in your body. So after you do that, you're supposed to engage in intense exercise. Go take a walk, jumping jacks, run on the treadmill. And then breathing, it's called paced breathing. So you can meditate, do some deep breathing exercises, and then paired muscle relaxation. So paired muscle relaxation, when I do it, is like I do it especially before I go to sleep. And I start at the bottom of my feet and just kind of wiggle my toes, stretch my feet out, and then check in with my calves, like, what's that called? Tense your calves?
Mm-hmm. The ones I've gone through when I do that, it's usually like you're supposed to clench the muscle, tighten the muscle to, acknowledge it, and then you release it and relax it, and kind of you're letting go of that energy that you have.
Yeah, that's the words I was trying to think of. Tense, like, and then you release it, and then you go through your whole body till you reach your head. But that's how I use it. I use it a lot when I'm going to sleep. It's also called body scan meditation. You can find YouTube videos on it. If you don't have an ice pack, you can also use like a bag of peas, a bottle of water that's in the refrigerator.
You can, alternatively, you can just clench an ice cube in your hand if you are one of those people who can't do things on your face, or I use a paper or a clothing cloth thing on the ear. because I know, like you said, some people, doctors don't recommend it because if you have any like breathing issues and trying to hold your breath that long, it's pretty much just supposed to shock your body back into paying attention to what's happening in the now.
And it does. It's so crazy. So if you guys ever do this and you're not having a panic attack, take your pulse before you do it and then after. Like, it really does. It slows you down. So it's really good.
It's also really important to do all of the parts, though. If you like skip the intense exercise, then you're still going to have a lot of that energy in your body. So when you're trying to do the breathing and the muscle tensing and relaxing, you're going to have all that energy, and it's going to be harder to relax. So you need to like release all of that energy, and then afterwards you need to do the relaxation exercises, because sometimes if you do something like intense exercise, it can bring those motions back that you had before, and then you're just in that fun little hamster wheel that starts going and going and going until you can't stop.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, these are two crisis resources. So we'll have these on our page. I'll send them out. But just put these in your phone. You never know when you're going to need it. There's a suicide prevention lifeline. They have a chat feature that is anonymous, and the crisis text line is also anonymous. All you have to do is text that one, and you're speaking with a counselor, and they can help you.
They're also on Facebook, which is really nice.
Yeah, that's nice. And then we have Check the Facts, which Maria is going to read us.
So, I use this skill a lot because I am always trying to think for someone else or something like that. So it says that I have a little card that it's hard to read that for me. So I have a little card.
You're fine.
It says this skill gets us to examine our thoughts and check if our emotional reaction to an event fits the facts of that event or situation. By stepping back and assessing the situation, we are able to think more clearly and logically about a situation and move into a state of wise mind before automatically reacting and saying things based on our past history or current vulnerabilities. And it gives questions that you need to ask yourself to check the facts. The first one is what is the emotion that I want to change? What event is prompting that emotion? What are my interpretations, thoughts, and assumptions about the event? Am I assuming a threat? What is the catastrophe? And does my emotion or intensity or duration fit the facts? So I use check the facts quite a bit whenever it comes to a lot of situations because I tend to overreact and use emotion mind way more than I use wise mind. And check the facts kind of brings me back into the ability to look at it logically and not just through emotion.
Yeah, I think we all use Check the Facts a lot. This was one of the first skills that I learned, and it really helped. I was having an issue with a friend of mine, and like the way I am, if you don't text me all day after I've texted you, I'm going to be thinking the worst possible situation has happened. Like, you don't like me, you don't want to talk to me.
Did something bad happen to them?
Yeah.
Oh my God, are they dead?
Or did I say something wrong? So, Check the Facts is something that my therapist went over with me. Well, did they say that they didn't like you? Did they say that you said something wrong? You don't really know until you've talked to them. They're probably just busy, or they haven't seen your message. I don't know. I used to be so bad about this. until I learned check the facts, because I don't know, like when somebody doesn't message you back, you're thinking the worst and you don't know what's going on. And it can be for anything. Somebody said that their husband didn't come home on time. So they thought that he had gotten in a car crash and died. And it's like, that's kind of extreme. But I mean, I would probably think the same thing. But you don't know because you don't have all the information.
I tend to do that as well, but I think it's also out of a fear of abandonment, especially with the messaging thing. If someone doesn't message me back, I definitely go to, have I upset them? Have I done something that's going to make them, leave me alone and not talk to me anymore? So check the facts is really good for that and calming you down.
Mm-hmm.
I use it
I
a
actually
lot
have to
too.
head off, but I wanted to give one last thing of a really great part about checking the facts. You always want to get rid of the what ifs, because that's always something that you're not in the moment thinking of. What if this happened? What if that happened? And checking the facts takes a lot of trust with the person that you're, or the situation you're in. If you ask someone, like I have to ask my SO occasionally, I'll be like, "Are you upset with me? Are you angry?" And when he says no, and usually I'm like, oh, but he's still acting angry. But you have to remember, what if that person isn't angry at you? They're just gruff in the moment because he might have just gotten off a work call where he was getting his butt chewed out by his boss. And now he's in a situation with you. You sometimes have trouble controlling your emotions. It's not meant for you, but you see it, and then you're starting to do that thing where you assume, he's mad. He's mad at me. It was something I did. Oh my God, what do I do to fix it?
Right. That's a good example. Thank you, Aaron.
Bye.
For coming.
I gotta go take care of some family stuff.
Okay.
Love you.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Rachel, you had a example?
Um, I don't even know. My mind lost
Sorry,
it.
you were going to say something.
I don't. Yeah. What was I gonna say? Sorry, I'm struggling to even say anything. Like I am being a little more awkward than I usually am. I'm not saying a lot. But yeah, I use check the facts a lot. And I need to use it even more than I already do because, like y'all said, I tend to catastrophize or whatever, like assume the worst. And I take it to that extreme also. Um, and I remember, I guess one of the biggest like check back thing recently was, I don't know, a couple months ago in the DBT Discord chat group that Aaron created. Like I had not said anything in the chat or texted you guys in, I don't even know, like a week, maybe 2 weeks. And I felt so shitty about that. And like I still do feel shitty that I'm like that sometimes. But I almost let it like I was considering like leaving the group. Like not just the Discord, but like the therapy group that we're in. Like I had convinced myself that I was a piece of shit and I didn't belong, and like everyone else's problems are like way more important than whatever I'm going through, and like I don't know, it was crazy, but I started like, Aaron I think was the one that reminded me, like, check the facts. Like, I mean, why do you think all that?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember both of you guys like convinced me to just stay and, give it another shot. And I'm really glad I did. And I'm not like all better or anything, but it's the process. And if I had just given up at that point, I don't know where I'd be right now. I'd be a lot worse. So thank you for helping me with that.
Oh, absolutely. It'd be crazy boring without you. I mean, so, and you're always texting us, reminding us that it's time for group, and, you know,
Whatever, that's you.
you do it
See
too,
you
and
later.
just speaking when nobody else will speak. So, yeah, it's definitely, it takes all of us to make a good group. It would not be good if you left, so I'm glad that you didn't.
I'm glad y'all are still here.
Ah,
I'm sad that Maria's leaving. Sorry, I've derailed the conversation.
yeah. Okay, well, that is all that we have for this week. Unless anybody has any questions, if you have questions, you can put them in the YouTube video, which I will be posting later on tonight. Please comment, like the video, share the podcast. We'd love to get some more people in here who need it. It's good for us to go over these skills, so it's good for our review, but we also want to do outreach to others and help others learn them. So we will see you guys next week. Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you for coming.